Hello, everybody. It's Daniel here, and welcome to Emotional English Podcast episode, where we learn English language effortlessly, emotionally, filled with energy, and of course, positively. Welcome, everybody. And today, I've prepared another great podcast episode for you guys, and we're going to discuss a great topic about philosophy. And today's person we discuss is Giordano Bruno. Giordano Bruno was an amazing philosopher. He still is. And many people read books of Giordano Bruno because it's a beautiful and an interesting philosopher from Italy. And I've recently bought a book of his, and this book is quite nice. I haven't read it yet, but I know that this philosopher is an amazing person, and he's a big... I would say he was like a big who was he? He had transformed the whole idea of philosophy long time ago, right? So that was his main. He was born in 1548, right? So it's about it's 16th century, right? He was a Catholic monk. That's what I remember. And he was like a pope, and he was kind of rejected by the church because he was a big philosopher. He was discussing different exoteric and esoteric knowledges. And he believed in something bigger than just the church religion perspective. So that's why he was, not crucified, but he was murdered on fire, right? So they killed him in the reason of betrayal of the religion. That's what I know about him. He died on fire, and he was killed by the church. That's how I remember it. So that's what the guy is. And today I want to discuss 5 great quotes of his. And he got very interesting quotes, to be honest. These quotes I'll read step by step, and we will discuss paragraph by paragraph, sentence by sentence. I will read the whole quote first, and then we'll go slowly, step by step, learning the new vocabulary and discuss some more knowledges or rephrase to understand the quote in a better level, deeper, right? But before I start, I want to say that I just came back from my trip to Moscow. I was in the Sheridar camp again, and I was volunteering for the adult program. It was so good. I'm so happy that I've been there, and I've organized 2 more emotional English events in Moscow. That was great. The events were not so big. We had just a couple of people who came there, but it was great. I had a lot of fun. I've seen some new faces, and that is really good. That motivates me to continue my project and to evolve gradually, step by step, and hope you guys love it. So this week I will announce some more updates on my Telegram community. I want to create the new community there because I want more functionality, not just the announcement desk. I want to create the big community where we'll work on and where we will gather and do some activities all together. All right. I want to continue doing my videos in English and hope it will be pretty interesting for you guys. And some more news I will announce later on this week. Let's begin our discussion about Giordano Bruno's quote, shall we? So the first quote is a pretty nice one. So just let's read it fully at the first, and then we will go and discuss gradually. It is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority merely because the majority is the majority. Truth does not change because it is or is not believed by a majority of the people. All right, I will read this one more time fully. I will try to make it a little bit faster because while you're reading it faster, you can understand more sometimes. It is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority merely because the majority is the majority. Truth does not change because it is or is not believed by a majority of the people. All right, so let's go and discuss this quote gradually now. So we'll start from the first sentence, right? It is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority merely because the majority is the majority. Okay? Let's start from the first part. It is a proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority. This is the first part. So Giordano trying to say that it is the confirmation, it is the proof of a very low mind, of a stupidity, I would say, for a person, to wish to think with the masses or the majority. So when you think like everybody else around you, it is the proof that you have a low mind. Of course, I'm not saying about something objective, but I believe that there is no objectives nowadays. I'm just trying to say that if you have your own position, but you change your mind because of someone's opinion or the majority opinion. For example, the coronavirus situation, right? I was a big, I would say, I was in defense, right? I was in defense because the TV was saying that coronavirus will kill us all. But I was like, wait a minute. Yes, I know all diseases are kind of dangerous, but is it that scary? And most people died not because of the disease, but because of the fear, and that is the different point. So I had this idea that everybody was talking about coronavirus, and the TV wanted us to believe that corona was, the most dangerous disease of the planet. But I had my own mind, and I didn't believe in that shit. So I had my own point, and I had my own thinking. So it means I was not with the masses. I was not with the majority. Majority, it's the biggest group. It's the same as masses. And masses, it's the same as a big group of people, right? So when you say that the mass or masses are saying that coronavirus is real, it means the big group of people are saying that, right? So the majority. When you not thinking with your own mind, when you're not speaking your mind, it means that you're not using your own mind. That's why it's a proof. That's why it's a confirmation that the person has a low mind. All right. So when you are with the majority, sometimes you can be smart. It's okay. But if you never use your own mind, that is the proof that you have a base or low mind. For example, English example, right? Many people say that English language should be learned with grammar, right? So you should start from grammar, start from scratches, start from grammar constructions. Yeah, but I don't think so. And the majority of teachers, right? The majority or the masses, they say that, and it's easy to teach with grammar. But in my position, I think differently. And I think that we should start from a simple vocab list. And then just remember the logic of the word place in the sentence. So that's my own position. And again, yeah, maybe it is kind of connected with the grammar, but I'm not saying that you should start from present simple, then present continuous, then present perfect. No, I have my own point. And that means you are a great thinker. You're like a philosopher, right? So, and low-minded people, they never think deep. They never think, globally, right? They have a base mind. Base, it means average, right? So that's the point of Giordano here. It is proof of a base and low mind for the person to wish to think with the masses or majority, right? So if you think like majority, it is the proof of your base or low mind. That's what he's trying to say. Merely because the majority is the majority. So merely, it's the same word as just, right? Merely because, just because the majority is the majority. So you're just scared that the people will think badly about you, right? That's why many people think the same as others. So if I have an argument from other English teachers that, look, you have a wrong perspective. It's stupid to teach English this way. It's okay. I'm ready. I'm ready for it, right? So merely because the majority is the majority is not my point. I don't believe in grammar learning just because many people think so. Okay, that's what the Giordano is trying to say here. I will read the whole sentence together. It is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority, merely because the majority is the majority. So that was the first sentence. We have another one here. Truth does not change because it is or is not believed by a majority of the people. So what he's trying to say here, the truth does not change. The truth is the truth in general. It's an objective point, right? So the truth does not change because it is or it is not believed by a majority of people. So if the majority thinks that something is real or something is not real, it does not change the truth. The truth is always objective, right? So it's not subjective. Subjective point is changeable, but it's not the truth. It's only the subjective point, right? But truth is always, 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 how many times do I need to say that? Truth is always objective, okay? So the truth does not change because the little group, the mass, the majority, think so, right? The truth does not change because it is or is not believed by a majority of the people. All right, so now we can finish it with the full reading of the quote. And you can repeat with me. It is a proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority, merely because the majority is majority. Truth does not change because it is or is not believed by a majority of the people. Thank you, Mr. Giordano. That was amazing. Very interesting, isn't it? So we should believe in ourselves, not believe in someone's mind. It's more, I would say, it's more high mind thought. So low mind people, they think that, oh, look, the science can explain everything. But you can think with your own mind and think a little bit deeper into it. Just imagine, many years ago, people didn't believe that we could fly. Some time ago, people didn't know what the electricity is. And do you really think that we know something about electricity? Maybe the electricity, what we think now, is just the point or it's just a scratch of something much more bigger than that. Wi-Fi, you cannot see Wi-Fi, right? But Wi-Fi exists. And you can see it only with your mobile device. Without the mobile device, you cannot prove that Wi-Fi is real. The same thing is here. So if you believe that the majority of people say that something is real or not real, you should have your own mind and not just listen to these guys. Have your own mind and speak your mind. All right. By the way, speak your mind. It's a very good idiom when you say what you really think, right? Speak your mind when you speak with your boss, because if you trying to play the game and you're faking until you're making it, this is not a good way of living, right? Okay, that was the first great quote. Let's go to the next one. Maybe you, I will start again. Maybe you who condemn me are in greater fear than I who am condemned. That's the quote. That's a beautiful sentence. Maybe you who condemn me are in greater fear than I who am condemned, right? What does it mean, condemn? Do you have an idea? What does it mean, condemn? Imagine the word to blame, criticize, right? Disapprove someone, right? When you blame yourself, when you say that you're not good for English learning, you're condemning yourself, right? When you say or criticize someone, you're condemning someone else. So, and Giordano here is saying that maybe you, the person, maybe you who condemn me, who is criticizing myself, are in greater fear. So you scared more than I who am condemned. So I'm not in fear, but the person who is condemning me is in fear. You see the logic? So the person who is criticizing scared the most than the person who is criticized. All right? So maybe you who condemn me, who is criticizing me, are in greater fear than I who is criticized. Right? So that's the logic of this quote. So it's about condemning people. It's about criticizing and blaming people or ourselves. Doesn't matter. So the criticizer is in the worst case scenario because he is scared. That's why he is criticizing. But when you have a beautiful mind and you can endure stupidity of other people, you can be more strong in this point. So the person who is condemned has a better position and has a stronger position sometimes. Not always, but sometimes he is. Okay, that was the quote number 2. Let's go to the quote number 3. Shall we? Yeah, let's do it. So the next quote. The divine light is always in man, presenting itself to the senses and to the comprehension, but man rejects it. The divine light is always in man, presenting itself to the senses and to the comprehension, but man rejects it. What a beautiful, beautiful quote. The divine light. What does it mean? The divine light. This is the point of, let's say the God energy, right? The God energy is always in us, inside of us, right? In man. Presenting itself. So the God's energy presents itself to the senses. So we feel it by our senses, right? We have 5 senses, right? We can touch, we can smell, we can see things, right? We can taste things, right? Smell things, other things, right? It's all about senses. And the divine light, the God light, is always inside of us, presenting itself to our senses and to the comprehension. What does it mean, comprehension? While we are practicing with our lessons with my students, we have the comprehension questions. Comprehension, it means understanding, right? Or just, when you know things, you understand things. That's a comprehension. So to the comprehension, it means to the point of understanding. It's like, realization, right? The realization of the moment, the divine energy is here. The God's light is here, is always inside of us, presenting itself through our senses and to the comprehension, to the realization. But man, but humanity, but person rejects it. But the man rejects it. So we never listen. We never listen to this energy. And this is the problem, what Giordano Bruno is saying here. So divine light, the divine light is always inside of us, presenting itself to the senses and to the comprehension, but we never listen. We never listen to it. That's the biggest mistake. Thank you, Mr. Giordano. And shall we finish one more? Yeah, we still have time for that. Beautiful quote. There is no top or bottom, no absolute positioning in space. There are only positions that are relative to the others. There is an incessant change in the relative positions throughout the universe, and the observer is always at the center. Incessant change. Yeah, that's a beautiful combination of words. I will explain it a little bit later, but let's read it one more time. There is no top or bottom, no absolute positioning in space. There are only positions that are relative to the others. There is an incessant change in the relative positions throughout the universe, and the observer is always at the center. All right? So let me double check. I can misspell the word incessant. I just want to double check this thing. Let me see. Yeah, incessant is correct. Okay, we're good. We're good, guys. We can go through. So let's go from the first paragraph. There is no top or bottom, no absolute positioning in space. So what does it mean? It means there is no there is no highest. There is an absence of highest position or the bottom line position of the worst case scenario. There is nothing of it. No absolute positioning in space. There is no one who can say what is correct. I think this sentence is about there is no objective point. So objective, it means God. Subjective, it means us. So, and what this phrase is saying, in my perspective, what I think so, how I think, this sentence is saying that there is no objective position in this world. There are only subjective positions, right? Because there is no top or bottom, no too good, no too bad, no absolute positioning in space. There is nothing like that. There are only positions that are relative to the others. It means, let's imagine smoking is good or bad. You can say, Danila, come on, smoking is bad. But look, some people gathered with other people thanks for smoking. Without smoking, they couldn't find good friends in their past, right? Is it good or bad? Together with other people, it's good. So maybe smoking was the connector. Smoking obsession was the connector with others. And you cannot say fully that it was bad. Or another one, like gaming, right? Some people think that gaming is a big addiction. I mean, when you play games, right? Minecraft, Skyrim. But look, game is just the point or practice where you can realize your own thoughts, your perspective, and try it out. Just to practice something for a moment. And then maybe you will practice the same thing in real life. For example, you can build a house in Minecraft, and then you can make the same building in real life. So is gaming is bad? No, it's not, because it's always subjective. If gaming gives you a lot of positive energy, if it motivates you to do things in real life, why is it a bad thing? It is not. It's a good thing, right? So the same thing with other things, right? Of course, you cannot say that drugs are good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that things are very subjective. People who have a very low mind or base mind, for them, drugs are good because they want to die. They want to die. And if the person want to die quicker, why drug is a bad idea? From this perspective, it's quite nice, right? Just to take a drug and to kill yourself. But again, it's not the point. I don't want you to kill yourself. I want you to be smart. That's why you're listening to this podcast. I want you to discuss philosophical ideas to improve our life and makes our life a little bit better. Okay? So, there is no top or bottom, no absolute positioning in space. There are only positions that are relative to others. So, what we believe in and what we discuss in our small communities, that's what matters. Because this is the relative, that's the relations between my point and your point. So it's all relative. You know, the theory of relativity, right? It's all depends, right? I always say, people ask me, Danilo, what's better, to read or to speak? It depends. It depends, where are you now? Are you in a cinema, right? You cannot read your subtitles because you will annoy and disturb others, right? What's better skill, to speak or to write? It depends. If you work with emails, you need a lot of writing skills. So for example, my writing skills sucks. I cannot write properly. So is it bad or good? It depends, because I don't teach writing. I teach only speaking. And most students who come to me, they ask, look, I want to speak, how to do that? And I'm ready to help. But I'm not teaching writing, right? I'm not the general English multiverse teacher who is teaching everything and who is superb in everything. No, I'm not. I can teach you speaking, but I cannot teach you writing. I recommend you to find another teacher for that skill. So, there is no top or bottom, no absolute positioning in space. There are only positions that are relative to the others. There is an incessant change in the relative positions throughout the universe, and the observer is always at the center. What does it mean, incessant change? There is an incessant change, people say, right? And Giordano saying here, incessant change here. What does it mean? It means that some changes are just happening without stop. It means it's always happening. There is no breaks. There is an incessant change in our life. It means when you're a kid, you're growing up, and you have an incessant change in your life because you was drinking something, and then you had changed your body, your philosophy, and you had started doing something new, and then you had transformed your philosophy again. The change is infinite. Do you understand what I'm saying? Infinite. It means always and unstoppable. You never stop. That's what the word incessant means, right? Incessant change, incessant progression, incessant evolution, right? Incessant means that you never stop. You just grow, right? It's constant, relentless, endless. You never end. And that's what I recommend you guys. You need incessant change of your language skill. So I want you to progress infinitely, right? Incessantly, right? Relentlessly, endlessly learning the language. That's what the word incessant mean here, right? There is an incessant change, right? This unstoppable, endless change, right? Never-ending change in the relative positions throughout the universe. And the observer is always at the center. What does it mean? There are many thoughts. There are many minds in the universe. There are many ideas, right? Some people believe in Christianity. Some people believe in Krishnaism, right? Some people believe in Stoicism, right? And much more than that. But the thing is that the change is incessant. One moment of my life, I was a Christian. Then I had changed my position, and I researched some information. I had researched some information about yoga, and I transformed my my understanding of life. And that moment, I understood that yoga was everything. But it was not fully true because, again, the world has an incessant change and my life has an incessant change. So I moved forward and I learned some more philosophies, right? I started to learn many philosophies, and that created the new breakthrough in my mind, right? So, and now I see many relative positions, and they always change. They have this incessant change. Some things I know now and I believe in them, but does it mean that it's just solid? It's just that my position is always changing. That's what I'm trying to say, right? It's not rock solid. That's the word what I was looking for. So it's not rock solid. It is like a liquid. It's going further. And I'm always transforming my point of view. It's completely normal. I'm very conservative in some areas, but my position has an incessant change. I'm trying to evolve. I'm trying to learn new things, and my lessons have an incessant change as well. So it grows my ability of teaching, growing as well, and it's nice. It's very good. So the same thing Giordano Bruno is saying here. There is an incessant change in the relative positions throughout the universe, and the observer is always at the center. And this point is very important in the end of the sentence. So the observer, it's the person who is looking at the thing. The observer must place himself at the center, because without placing yourself at the center, you cannot see the position clearly. Because when you criticize the philosophy, you cannot understand the philosophy. When you criticize the method, you cannot understand the method. For example, even me, when I say to you that, hey, look, grammar is bad, I don't say this right now. I just have my own position that I'm not following the grammar approach. I know many teachers who do this, but I don't want to do this because I have my own point of view. I should place myself as an observer, as a person who is in the middle, who is scanning the realia, and then make a decision and promote my own position, right? That's my point. Hope you got this point clear. So I will read the whole thing again. There is no top or bottom. No right or wrong, no absolute positioning in space. There are only positions that are relative to the others. There is an incessant change in the relative positions throughout the universe, and the observer is always at the center. So let's rephrase it again. So the person is always at the center, and the philosopher is always scanning the reality. As more knowledge he consumes, as more, as more comprehension he got, right? So comprehension is this understanding. It's this realization of things, right? So more information, more realization. More facts, more understanding, right? Whatever. So that's how it works. So these are great quotes from Giordano Bruno, guys. So we got 4 of them. I've got one more, but that one is big. So I think it's too big. Maybe we'll discuss this one separately, one of our next discussions. And we will discuss. It's a big point about the God, and I think we will discuss it for sure, but a little bit later. All right? So let's read them all together, and let's revise all our knowledges for today about Giordano Bruno. So Giordano Bruno, who was he? Who was he? He was a philosopher. You're right. He was a philosopher from Italy, and he was crucified. He was killed on fire, right? So it is The first quote, "It is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority merely because the majority is the majority. Truth does not change because it is, or is not, believed by a majority of the people." Quote number 2, "Maybe you who condemn me are in greater fear than I who am condemned." The quote number 3, "The divine light is always in man, presenting itself to the senses and to the comprehension, but man rejects it." And number 4, "There is no top or bottom, no absolute positioning in space. There are only positions that are relative to the others. There is an incessant change in the relative positions throughout the universe, and the observer is always at the center." All right, that's all for today, guys. So I will announce some more news later on this week. Just listen, let's stay in touch, and have an amazing day. I hug you all. Learn English with fun, joy, and of course, positive energy. And I see you very soon.